Now, I'm going to go through the presentation today. So I'm Tamor. I'm from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. This is me with my colorful jacket. I am on the Intuit for Education team on under corporate responsibility. Intuit for Education, if you don't know, is a free program to teach financial literacy for students. So we've been around for about a year. We have 150 hours of curriculum, video-based and simulation-based. And when I say it's free for you to use as a teacher. It's free for your district to use. There's no like strings attached for that. You can right now go on Intuit for Education, do a web search, and use it. It's that simple. What I'm going to do today is walk through Intuit for Education curriculum, logging in, using different activities, and share like new updates that we have. So if some of you have already used it, there's actually some cool updates that you'll be seeing roll out if it's not already rolled out for you that I'll be sharing with you. And I want to introduce my colleague Denise on here. So Dee, can you give yourself introduce yourself to the team here?
Sure. Yeah. Hi, everybody. It looks like I'm freezing up a little bit. Sorry about that. What's going on in my bandwidth here? But I am Denise Culkin. I do work for Intuit as well as a contractor, and I'm on a number of different projects with the Intuit for Education team. So there's a lot of great stuff happening. We're really glad you're here. I'm a former educator. Started my career in the classroom, and it's near and dear to my heart. So I'm a lucky girl that all of my worlds collide in this part of my career. So it's good stuff.
And just so you know, this event is Uber Eats raffle eligible. So at the end of this session, we'll do a raffle for an Uber Eats voucher for someone on this call. Great. So as mentioned, it's a free program that uses real world tools. So it's a differentiator. Some of you all might use Next Gen Personal Finance, CEE. You might have your own curriculum at your institution. What I like about this is that it's flexible. You pick and choose what you want to use and embed it to other things that you're using in your classroom. So we try to make it flexible, easy, and pull in real world simulations from Intuit's product line for education purposes. And then we're supporting all students, regardless of their zip code. So we really want to make sure that everyone's financially literate, capable, and confident. That's why we're trying to do this. It's part of our mission to bring back to the communities. So I already said some key things here: flexible. We have professional development resources, which I'll share with you towards the end, some upcoming events that we're doing, interactive, and our educator community, which is where hopefully all of you have got this information. And this is, again, sharing what we're going to be doing today, learning about the resources, exploring how to use the product, and even testing out some of the activities and simulations so that you feel a little bit more comfortable using it. Just so you know, this is the QR code to sign up. If you have not already signed up for Intuit for Education, it's just intuit.com/education. I will drop the link here as well so that we all have it. We'll also be doing a short break, like a 10-minute break to do a mindfulness activity. So I'll have someone come on from our company to do that with you all as well, because it's gonna be. How many of you have already started school classes this year with your students?
Not yet.
Yeah, it's coming though. It's coming, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we want to help you prepare. Okay. So now I'm gonna get out of this presentation and go to Intuit for Education. So this is Intuit for Education. I already dropped the link. You're welcome to go along with me. We can do it together. I'm gonna wait. Let me do this. Let me do a sign up. So I show you how to sign up if you haven't signed up yet. Wait, oops, that's my bad. So Tamor loves education. Sorry? Oh, Cindy. Okay. Tamor loves education at gmail.com. You can use your school email. You can use your personal email. Usually it's better to use your school email if you're going to be adding students into a class. And then I will write a password that I will not say out loud. I almost one time did say it out loud, and that was bad. Everyone knew my password. I had to change all my passwords. It was not great. Okay. So it gives you three options here. I'm an educator. I want to learn personal finance. I'm a student with a join code. This is something that students sometimes get mixed up on because they'll go on the website too. they don't have to go on this website. You're gonna you're gonna, when you're signed up as an educator, you'll be able to add a class and invite students, and they'll have a join code. So you don't have to send them this, like, I want to learn a personal finance. They're not gonna need to do that. They're gonna be clicking down here, I'm a student with a join code. And I'll show you all where you get that join code once you're able to add students into a class using Intuit for Education. So this, I want to learn personal finance, is for like independent learners. So it could be like your family friend, your colleague, your neighbor, someone who just wants to learn about financial literacy. That is not where you send students, okay? Students will be sent here to the join code. But we're going to be going through the educator route. So I'm going to say Tamor, Ashkan, Mr. Tete. That's what my friends call me. And then let's say 50 students, give or take. Cool. The first thing I want to make sure you all see is up here. To invite us, we need admin approval. This is because we comply with state privacy laws and data privacy laws for students. And we want to make sure that your it's either your department chair or your principal sees that that we follow those privacy laws and hits agree to let you add students to this class. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like. 22102 is my zip code. And then let's go here. Paul Mitchell is a hair school. Why not? Let's do that. Protecting student data is important to us. Your school has already been approved. Great, done. If it's not been approved, it'll ask you for an email for your department head or your principal, and it'll shoot them an email with information. What I will say is let them know beforehand, before you send it to them, so that they're looking for it. They don't think it's spam or something. It might go to spam folder. It happened a few times. So just keep them aware of it. Something I've also seen teachers do is sometimes they're the department chair, so they send it to themselves. You can't email it to yourself and get it approved. I will recommend you do that. If you're the department chair, I'm not going to say do it other ways, but just do it if you're a department chair or the principal or admin of your school. If you realize that that is not the right person you send the email to, you can always do this again, and you can just resend it to the right person. You can do it as many times as you need to. It doesn't matter. Then I want to show you here, there's educator community, which goes to the community where you saw this event. We'll show that in a second. And professional development, which are webinars, resources to help you use this curriculum. When I mentioned to you earlier to add a student to a class, it's here, new class. So first, you need admin approval. Then you need to add a class. And then I'll do that here, 22102. Paul Mitchell, the hair school. Hairstylists need to learn finance too. Ninth grade hair salon or something. Next, what does your fall 2024 protecting? So your school has already been approved. Great. Next, and then copy the link and share it with your students. So this is what you share with students. This is the link you shared with them. Okay, nothing else. You don't share it intuit.com/education. This is the link you share. You share it with them, then they join on. And they will go straight into, I'm going to close this, the course you assigned them, which I'll show you like the different courses we have and units we have. So they're not going to see the same view as you. This is an educator view. An educator view has all the courses, all the simulations, all the units, all the calculators. We don't want a student to get distracted with all those things. So when a student signs on, they're going to only see the unit that you've assigned them to do, nothing else. And you can obviously add more as well. So let's go into courses. And I want to show you there's personal finance and self-paced personal finance. The difference is that self-paced is in the name. You're doing it, you're assigning it to a student to do it on their own as an individual. So it could be like assigning them a quiz to take during class time or homework, assigning the activity again during class time or for homework. And you will get the progress of how they did on that assignment or that quiz in your LMS, in your dashboard. So if a student, you'll invite your students into a class, you'll see 25 of them or 20 of them, and you'll be able to track like, okay, these are the students that have completed it. These are the students that have not completed it. These are the students who, and their performance on this quiz. So that's what the self-paced is. And this one doesn't have anything on here. It means it's guided. it's in-class acts, like group class activities. So it's more like, we call it guided, in that you're doing the lessons with the students. It's not just assigning it and then checking back later once they complete the assignment on the platform. So in theory, you'd only really be adding a class for the self-paced lessons. You wouldn't need to be doing the admin approval or assigning classes to the guided lessons. And I'll show you why that in a second. Let's go to the personal finance. Let's go to money mindsets. It'll tell you up at front, money mindsets, 1 lesson, 1 hour. So it gives you how long it'll take for the whole unit. It'll also tell you if it meets national standards for graduation requirement. And it tells you how it meets national standards for graduation requirement, all here. It's great information for you all to have, and the learning objectives. And then you'll see here, assign a lesson. So that's where you assign that lesson for students when you want to assign it in that class. A video pop-up pops up here, making purchasing decisions. So it's a lot of video-based, Intuit Education is very video-based curriculum. A lot of what I've seen educators use is come in and use the videos to display it in the front of their class or ask their students to watch it. In a world where a lot of students are looking on social media for videos and for information on finances, and they get a lot of conflicting, I'll say, answers, it's good to have a source of truth and also have videos that are short, sweet, to the point, that students are used to watching online. This is an example of check for understanding, so like a knowledge check. So these are things that like a student would do on their own that you'd assign for them. And then there's even a little test afterwards. Measure your growth. So this is like the quiz, 10 questions. Okay. Let me go back to here. I'll pause. Does anyone have questions on what I showed you, at least in terms of the adding students to a class, assigning a lesson? I know I don't have students right now to assign lessons to. Otherwise I'd go through the whole experience, but we will create a video for that whole experience to post in the community, so you'll be able to see it. But is there any questions you have on what I've showed you so far?
Yeah, I think I've been working with a different section of Intuit. I've been teaching QuickBooks Online, and I used Intuit and invited the students there. The other class I'm teaching that I haven't worked directly with Intuit, but I've had the students sign up for the software. I teach an income tax class, but I haven't put that as a class on Intuit. I don't know if that's appropriate for this area as well or not.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna go through this tax simulation that we have here. There's also
Okay.
QuickBooks simulation. So I think you're using, QuickBooks Education Online.
Online, yeah.
Yeah, it's corresponded to this. We're in the same team. So what we have here are simulations of QuickBooks. I'd say the simulations that you're gonna see here is probably like a step before what you're doing with some of the students.
Yeah.
But the TurboTax simulation would be a great activity to use for that class, in my opinion. And I can share
Yeah.
that as well.
I think the text that I'm using has a free subscription to Intuit Pro Connect.
Okay.
Yeah, they're using that one. Yeah.
Okay, great. And that's also a great resource too.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, so we talked about this. So these are some things I want to show you all. So some updates we have are slides, standalone activities. So the presentation is in let's go back to the course, and in the guided lessons, in the guided courses here. So this is the self-paced, this is the guided. Let's go to guided. Let's go to money mindsets again for the guided one. And you'll see it's different. 4 lessons, 4 hours. It's not the 1 hour, 1 lesson. This is for, your class time. Let's go to basics of spending decisions. It has the same info, meets national standards, learning objectives. The difference is it has a lesson plan, it has slides, it has answer key, worksheets, and an extension activity. So this is really great for like classroom discussion, getting students like using talking to each other, talking to you. Let me show you an example of the lesson plan and the slides. We've made the lesson plans and the slides presentation to be very detailed. So anyone can do it regardless of their skill set with financial literacy. So if you were, for example, like you were out 1 week or a couple of days, you can ask your substitute, just use this lesson plan, and it has it in detail, like by even the time, 5 minutes, the bell ringer, 10 minutes, making informed decisions, direct instruction, play this video, ask students to consider what they listed as most important recent purchases. And it even gives you like the answer for it as well. And so on. Then this is the presentation. So it's basically the same thing as you saw on the lesson plan, but a presentation format. So this is what the students will see. Like you're going to present this to the students, and then this will be for you or your substitute or your peer. What I like about this is we updated the slide. So that's an update to share if you all have been using the presentations. These are updated, colorful, more creative presentation, more quick, more to the point. So evaluate personal purchases using product, the framework like PASTE. The videos, so we are bringing in the videos that we have in Integrated Education, and we're telling you which ones would be best to play at this time. Inform spending decisions. The framework. Let's keep going. It's about 14 slides, and then an exit ticket. Write one thing you learned from today's lesson. So it gives you a closing activity and an opening activity. It's great. We also do have Kahoots, by the way. So I know some teachers love to use Kahoots to end the class or start a class, and that will be connected depending on the lesson. So this lesson doesn't have a Kahoots, but I'll show you an example of one that has a Kahoots or has study sets. Another thing I want to mention, there's these worksheets. So let's open one worksheet. This is something you would print out and give to the students to do as an activity. And what I like about this is it has an answer key for you as the educator. And it'll pop up here. And then you will verify that you're an educator and that the answer key is for you. So we found that a lot of students are finding the answers online. And so we've tried to make the questions very customized and unique. So it's not so easy to find it online. And you can, you have the answer, and it's locked so that a student can't possibly get the answer using Integrated Education. Okay. Let me go back. I want to,
I have a question. I've tried to click on the answer key, and I've already been approved by my administrator, but it's still telling me that I don't have access and I have to request access. Do you know why that is?
Yeah, so the reason why is there's like a two-step verification for the answer key. It is good feedback if you find that's unnecessary, if you've already done the approval process, to not necessarily need another answer key. So I can bring that back to the team to let them know, to make it easier for you to access it. But it's a two-step process for now.
Okay, so the process may not be complete?
Sorry?
Okay. You're saying that the process may not be complete. Is that why I don't have access?
Yeah, it's probably not completed yet. Even for me, it's a verification pending. Your educator is still pending.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back here, courses. And then I want to go to budgeting. Preparing to create a budget. I'm going to pick a random one. And it gives you an extension activity here, arranging your account simulation. So this is a simulation. Let me show you what a simulation is. It's Mint. Okay, it's using Mint. Yeah, so I know Mint is technically not here anymore, but we have Mint things on here, and it's now called Intuit budgeting. So I know some of you might miss Mint. We know we miss Mint, RIP Mint, but you're still able to use some of the tools from Mint as simulations in the budget activities, which is something that educators really loved before. What I'll just call out here is you can't just press on these buttons, like so we've locked it so students can't like be distracted. They have to go through this scenario to the right. So it tells you Isaiah's connected his account. Isaiah checks Intuit budgeting regularly. You can scroll down to search the transactions. How much does Isaiah transfer every month to savings? So let's see the transfer. Yeah. Let me pick something just to see what the answer would be. So it shows you as well not correct. I just want to make sure that you see that it tells you when it's not correct, and then it asks the students to try again and go to the next one, next question. And this takes like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, and it will tell you in the lesson activity the right time to bring the simulation. I did mention that it's flexible, so if I go back to the course, let's go to a lesson activity. You can copy this and like edit it how you want, to be honest. Like you can bring in other things that you like to use. You can change this as you want. A lot of educators like yourselves have more experience, so you maybe don't need like line by line detail of how to do an instruction. So you can just take from here what you want, including the simulation, and just use the simulation as a standalone activity in another lesson plan you're doing. So that's also possible. If I go back to, let's go back to the home page and go to simulations, it all lives here as well. And I can just click the URL link at the top. I'm gonna drop it here. And you all should be able to see the simulation directly without having to make an account. Is that true? Just want to double check.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's a great thing about this, is that you don't need to register or have your students added to the class to pull from the simulations and use them as a standalone resource for you. Okay. I'm gonna now, oh, it sees your identity is pending. I'm gonna now pause. This is a good time to pause before we go to the next part of this session, to do a little bit of a mindfulness exercise. I see our team member, Cameron, is on. I'm gonna ask Cameron, let me stop sharing. Hi, Cameron, how are you?
Hey everyone, I'm good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, happy Friday. So Cameron's gonna go through a mindfulness exercise with us to help us prepare for the new school year. Really wanted to do this for you all because we've heard educators feel burned out, tired, and we wanted to find like these small little breaks between these sessions to give you all some tips and support. So I'm gonna do a spotlight for you, Cameron, and you can go ahead.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tamor. And so excited to meet all of you on this call. And really, the reason that I'm here today is because I'm very passionate about financial literacy, the work that we're doing in the Intuit for Education space. And I'm very passionate about mindfulness and really bringing a wellness approach into the workplace. No matter what our career is, we only get one life, and it's really important that we find the proper balance to enjoy what we're doing and really continue to ground ourselves day by day in our why. So overall, with this topic of mindfulness, we know it's back to school season. We know things tend to be quite busy around this time, and what we really want to avoid, as Tamor said, is being more proactive versus reactive when it comes to burnout, or kind of deprioritizing maybe things like our health or downtime or reflection time. So I'm a huge advocate of slowing down so that we can speed up. I'm a huge advocate of really finding what it is that helps to recharge your personal battery and making that a priority, because that can really look different for everyone. And mindfulness, as a very broad topic, can look very different for everyone. But overall, mindfulness is just really important because it really allows us to enjoy the present moment, even if things are busy, when instead, if we don't make the time for slowing down, life can quickly pass us by. We can be in August and turn around and think, where did the summer go? So it's really important that day by day we're making that time. And really what is mindfulness? I kind of describe it as the art of being present. And so it's really being intentional about how you're spending your time. So if you think about a dog, for example, walking through a park, they're not thinking about too much. They're thinking about the sunshine around them, maybe the ball that was just thrown. Kids, for example, are really good teachers for us on how to be present. They're really, especially during playtime, just thinking about what's right there in front of us. As adults, we can tend to think about what's been going on in the past, what's coming up in the future, what do I still have going on in my to-do list. So it's really important that we are being intentional in carving out time to do things that might turn off that thinking forward past and running through those thoughts in our mind. Ultimately, those thought patterns are what can lead to burnout or can lead to things like continued stress. And so some examples of how mindfulness can show up for us. One example that I can give personally that I love is cooking. Somehow, when I'm making a new recipe, everything else in the world is turned off. I'm just focused on what's at hand, and that is actually very therapeutic for me. For some people, it's taking their dog for a walk. For some people, it's cleaning. It can be being really intentional about the physical mindfulness practices, such as yoga, which is a practice that syncs up your mind and body, or just exercise in general. Taking taking a few minutes to do some deep breaths. So those are all examples of how it can show up. But there's a ton of research behind how, things like having plants in your home or taking a few minutes to step out into nature, whatever that mindfulness practice is for you, really bringing that home for the school year, being really intentional about it, because these studies show that even just a couple minutes a day can dramatically reduce your heart rate, can help you to control better breathing. And even if we're not in tune with things like that, just generally, it helps our mood. So you will notice a difference if, hey, when I step outside and give myself a few minutes of sunlight, I actually feel better when I come back in. So just paying attention again to what is it that recharges your battery? What is it that you can do for just a couple minutes a day, that allows you to really slow down and focus on what's going on around you? So with all of that context, I know there might be different familiarity levels with mindfulness. The reason I wanted to join today is to give us an example of how we might be able to take a few minutes, even in the middle of this meeting, to find some mindfulness. So I chose an exercise here on just simply reflection. So all it takes is just taking a step back and putting a little bit of thought into the prompts that I'll read you. And hopefully, after we take a few minutes on thinking about these prompts, it might steer our minds to having a different outlook for the rest of the day. So if everyone is ready, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by reading a prompt. And I'll give a couple minutes for us to think about this prompt. You don't have to write anything down, but you're welcome to if you'd like. You don't have to say anything out loud, and you're welcome to keep your cameras on or off. But we'll go through a few of these, and then we'll have a couple fun ones that maybe we can share out loud after. All right, so our first prompt is, what does balance feel and look like to you as an individual? And how do you know if you are in balance? This is one I like to close my eyes and really take a minute to visualize this. What does a balanced life for me look like? And is there an area of your life that could use more balance? Take a moment to identify that. Some examples could be any areas of health, so physical, emotional, spiritual, or financial health, relationships, anything of that sort. And what is something that you could actually let go of that would help you to bring more balance into your life? And if anyone wants to take a moment to write down any light bulb moments that you want to come back to later, I'm absolutely going to send Tamor these prompts that you can take some time to think on a little bit more. But again, just think it's really helpful to take a minute to, I like to call it just an overall checkup. So how are we doing balance-wise in life? And, while there's always going to be opportunity for improvement, being really intentional about identifying those and visualizing, hey, how can I come back to my center and come back to balance during these really busy weeks? And what I would love to do a quick round table here while we have each other together is, what is one habit that makes your life easier? I think this is a fun one because we can all learn a little bit, especially if we're running in the same circle here. My personal one is being in the 5:30 a.m. club, no matter what, if it's a weekday, if it's a weekend. I love keeping consistency 5:30 to 6 a.m. in my schedule because I can wake up before the world starts, and really give that time to myself before I jump into the busyness of life.
5:30. So no, I like it. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by it. Yeah, I think for me, it's the downtime after work. It is my me time. I either go for a walk, I cook something. I just try to do something that's very different from work. So I listen to a podcast, listen to some music. Like I need that like transition from working to like being a human again, being me again.
Love that, Timur.
I guess for me, it's a little bit earlier than 5 o'clock, but for 5:30, I'm a little bit before 5, but it's my first cup of coffee, just a quiet time. And then I finish the day with coffee with my wife in the evening when I go and make us a latte. So it's all about coffee at both ends, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
For you. Yeah, I'm a morning person too. I do an early morning walk every weekday morning with neighbors. We meet and walk a couple miles every morning, and it's the days that I can't do it, I'm off kilter all day. But I would say other than that, I recently, well, a year ago, I got a dog, a puppy. And we'd had a dog that had aged, and I didn't realize how sedentary the old dog had gotten until I got a puppy. So now several times during the day, I have to go outside and get some fresh air because the puppy needs to go outside and get some fresh air. But it really is, it's like a gift to me. It's like, yes, sometimes it's annoying to get the nudge on the leg, like now mom, but once I get outside and I take some fresh air, I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I'm glad I just did that. So
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't know that about you. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to love waking up really early like yourself and get a lot of things done before that first phone call came. But now that I'm older, I can't really make it as well. And so what I do is I have a CPA practice and I teach part-time. So I try to divide up my work in parts so that after every 2 hours I can just go out and take a little bit of a walk and kind of appreciate what I've done and go to the next thing after I get back. So that works now.
Amazing.
I guess I'm the night owl out of everybody, but I like when it's quieter at night, when there isn't a crazy teenager making noise, driving me crazy, or a husband who's watching WWE after work. So I like the quiet time, the downtime. And I've recently picked up crocheting. I'm not very good at it yet, but it's very cathartic and it's soothing and I like it. And so I have a little rocking chair on my bedroom balcony and I just go out there and I just do I cut on my little porch lights or they're like little globe string lights. And I just go out there and I start crocheting and it just takes my mind off of everything.
Sounds magical.
That's amazing. Thanks so much for sharing. Anyone else have any other tips they want to give here before we close it out together? All right. Well, feel free to drop anything in the chat if anything else comes to mind or any other habit sharing that you'd like to take part in. But as we close it out, I'd love for everyone to, if you do have something to write with, close out this prompt with writing down what is one thing that you would like to commit to doing daily from here on out that will be a supportive habit throughout the school year. It can help out any area of your health or relationships or mindfulness. So again, thinking, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health, financial health, family, whatever that might be for you.
I'm gonna borrow your activity, D. I'm gonna do morning walks with my neighbors. Sounds nice. I should get to know them better too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thanks
Awesome.
so much, Cameron, for joining. I hope to see you again soon at other sessions that we have. I hope this was, I really enjoyed it. I hope our educators here enjoyed it. And yeah, I really think it's important that we all practice more mindfulness, especially in difficult circumstances, so we have something we can reference. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for letting me join and hope to see you all again soon.
Thanks,
Thank
Cameron.
Bye.
you. Cool. All right, so back to our regularly scheduled program. How do you all feel, by the way? Do you need a minute, or you want to go right into it? You're good?
Let's go right into it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go right into it. Okay, sounds great. So I wanted to share some other updates. So I shared with you the new presentation design. The second is standalone simulations. So I know we went over that. This is opening up. So again, you can access the simulations within the lesson plan or outside of the lesson. You can do it independent. You can have it just the simulation, or it could be within an activity here. So I shared that with you all. The next thing I want to share with you is a really cool update. Educators will still be able to find and download a PDF that maps their state's personal finance standards with Intuit Education self-paced and guided content. So I want to share with you an example of Delaware. So, more and more states are requiring this for graduation, or they have various standards for financial literacy, and we're going to have all those states up. And this is the Delaware one as an example. So it tells you what in the state standard, and then what is an Intuit Education that lines up to that, to make it really easy for you. Like, okay, I don't have much time. I got to just fulfill this standard. What is needed? And this is all here. Much shorter, more to the point, and really useful. So all the states will be up in Intuit Education, I guess, in the next couple of weeks. This is an example of the Delaware one. So you should see it up on the program. Next thing here is new lessons. So we have a new lesson for the TurboTax simulation and the wrap unit prosperity quest lesson. So let's go into TurboTax simulation lesson. I know, Pat, you were asking about tax for your tax course, income tax course. So you'll see here the lesson plan. This is new. We didn't have a TurboTax simulation lesson plan. We just had the TurboTax simulation. But now if I want to open this lesson plan, oh, I guess I'm going to sign in again. Oops, let's do that. Let me not say my password out loud. Don't say my password. Okay. I have to remind myself, don't say the password. Okay. So and this is the presentation for the simulation lesson plan. So if you are a teacher that just wants to use a simulation and you're like, I'd love a lesson plan with it. Now we have it. So there's a starting opening for the bell ringer for the class, why I file taxes, and then the exit ticket. So I really like that our team has done this so that if you want, you can do a whole lesson just around the simulation itself, or you can have the simulation within another lesson in the tax course. We have this for Prosperity Quest as well. Prosperity Quest is our game. So some of you might be like, I don't know about using game in my class. This is a really nice game. It's very easy. It's very leisurely. And we have a lesson around this as well. So this is the worksheet. This is a lesson plan. It doesn't meet national standards, so we're honest about it if it meets it or not. But these are the learning objectives. So it's more of like a fun activity to do with your class. I usually see this as either an opening for a course for your class or a closing fun activity to just wrap up the lesson on financial literacy. That's what I've seen it used more. It takes about 30 minutes to go through the whole game, but this course is 60 minutes in total. And if you're like, where's the course? It is in the lesson plan. Why are you asking me to log in each time? Okay, sorry about that. So if you're trying to figure out where the game is, you can find it in the lesson plan here, Prosperity Quest, right here. Or you can find the game. Another way you can find it, oops, is back to the home page. You see the games tab here, games. And it's play game, Prosperity Quest. And you can just copy it, send it to the students, and they can play the game. I know I didn't mention calculators. Calculators are also embedded as activities within the lessons. You can also use them as standalone. It applies as the same as a simulation. So you can go to a simple loan calculator and students can just play with numbers here, or they can apply numbers that they know, or they can use our activities down here, like cost of furniture, comparing loan terms, and then you can plug it in and see. What I've seen students do a lot is they like to just like put in random numbers and see what comes up. So I put like 10,000, interest rate, let's say something like 8%, loan amount 24 months, and it calculates how much they need to pay for that month. And they're like, whoa, that's so much. That's crazy. Let me do 20,000, and then they see go higher. Or let me do 2% and see it go, yeah, $850. So it's really nice to see students like playing with these calculators, punching in numbers and seeing the different amounts come out. So you can use this part of our lesson plan that's already embedded, or you can use this as a standalone activity, same as the simulations. And we have a lot of great calculators. I think my favorite is student loan because I have a lot of student loans, so it makes me sad, but also important. And then I have some debt repayment calculator is a good one. Mortgage calculator is a good one. If you have like a unit on housing, for example, auto loan is very popular for car buying as well, and inflation too. Okay. And then last update is the learning objectives. So I also we did share that where the learning objectives are. They are in every unit. So if I go to the course, personal finance, let's pick taxes, basics of taxes. Yeah, learning objectives will always be there. And then whether they meet national standards. Cool. So those are the updates for Intuit for Education that I wanted to share with you all. Does anyone have questions or things they wanted me to go over again, or things that I didn't go over that you want me to check?
Hey, Timur, this is Harsh. I just had a quick question. Sorry I joined late.
Sure. No, it's okay.
In terms of like the actual access to like QuickBooks or to some of the Intuit tax software, is that available for students?
Yeah, it is. So right now there's a couple of ways you can do this. One is there's the simulations you can use, but I think you're looking for the actual software to use, but I'll just share this first.
Okay.
The simulations of QuickBooks is here in the simulations tab. This is good for like using, before you use the actual QuickBooks product, I would recommend going through the simulations first, just so they get a sense of the significant, the most important parts of QuickBooks, and just go through the scenarios for it. If you want to use QuickBooks, so let's go back to intuit.com/education, the homepage. So we're in the platform, we're not even in the homepage. So I'm going to go to the homepage. I'm going to drop the link again for all of us to see it. This is the homepage where you make an account or you review the curriculum. And if you want QuickBooks, it's under the resources tab here. QuickBooks. There's ProConnect, there's QuickBooks, Professional Development Educator Community, and the calculators. This is QuickBooks. Let's go to QuickBooks. And you make the account here. So register for free for QuickBooks Online. And students do get a dummy account for free. I think it's like a 2-year term or 1 to 2 year term, and they can renew it as long as they're a student.
Yeah,
So
I think it's a 1-year term. The only trouble I think as long as the student has an EDU address, they can get the software. The only trouble I've been having is if a student has another account from another class, like they went from a tax class to an accounting class, and then they're trying to get that software, and it's causing a bit of a problem. But if they call Intuit takes care of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had that problem before. So the help email for that is education@intuit.com. If there's any issues with students logging in, yes, they do need an EDU account. I know some students are like non-traditional students at university and might not have an email. We've been able to approve those students anyway as well. So just like reach out and ask us for that approval, and we can work with you on it. But yes, most of the time they should have they should be associated with like an accredited institution. Does that answer your question, Harsh?
It does. And if you don't mind, I just had a quick follow-up on that.
Sure.
Do you have any like sample tax returns or anything like that that the students can complete?
Sample
Practice?
what? Sorry?
Tax returns? Like let's
Sample
say,
tax returns. Yeah.
right.
So we do, let's go into it. Let's go back to the platform. We have the free webinars coming up. So pop up there. So personal finance. Let's preview curriculum. So I'm not gonna even do the login again. I'm gonna just do the preview curriculum. Oh, it's logged me in. But you can actually preview curriculum without making an account, just so you all know. Let's go to simulations. Let's go to the TurboTax simulation. Practice filing taxes. And this is like a way to file taxes. Like it goes through a scenario. So it's not their specific information. It's Antonio Davis here at the right. You'll see there. 12/24/2004. 92116. Submit. Great job. Go next. And then it says Antonio Tate's single. That makes him dependent on his family. So select the appropriate option on the screen. No, I didn't pay for more than half of my living expenses, so he's a dependent. And then this is like a W-2 example. So you have Antonio's W-2 here from Dairy Queen, and it asks you to file the W-2 as well. What I'll say is that what I recommend is, because it's sometimes kind of complicated to go back and forth to do this, is to print this out and have the students have a printed copy of the W-2 while they're doing the simulation here. And then it continues going through Antonio's W-2 and to go through all of the tax filing process with Antonio.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions on the tax simulation?
Just one, this is kind of actually a follow-up between what Pat asked earlier in this.
Sure.
So you don't have with the QuickBooks, I teach a QuickBooks Online class. And I just love, number one, the fact that you've got the curriculum and you've also got the, students can actually get and play around with the real QuickBooks Online. But it sounds to me like they don't actually have something like that in the TurboTax, right? It's only in the ProConnect.
Yeah, I think,
so.
yeah, the difference between the ProConnect and the TurboTax, when you use it, the reason I like the ProConnect is that the TurboTax asks you all the questions and you a multitude of questions, and then fills out the form for you as you answer the question.
Yeah.
The ProConnect, actually, you have the data with you when you're putting it in yourself, so it's a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is like we don't have something like equivalent to QuickBooks as we do to the TurboTax. I will say we're going to add more tax simulations to go through more like different scenarios of taxes with having like the data to input it. That will probably happen throughout the year though. But no, we don't have something equivalent to QuickBooks for TurboTax, QuickBooks Education.
Yeah. Because I teach a tax class, I just love to get my students in and actually get some hands-on experience.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally get it. There is that tax simulation. Another simulation that is tax related is a sales tax simulation here as well. And then the tax unit and activities under that. But I'll definitely share it with our team so that we prioritize it. I know we are building more simulations and more content around the taxes, so it'll be coming out throughout the year. Okay, great. So I think we're gonna wrap. Just want to make sure that we are signing up for Intuit Education if you're not signed up yet. I also want to ask you all, what events would you like us to organize in the community? So I'm going to pose that question for you all while I pull up the survey and the raffle thing. Does anyone have things they would like to see us organize in the future?
I guess one thing I always enjoy is just hearing what others educators are doing. Kind of get some best practices and just some different ideas.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and we actually have, since the two of you have mentioned teaching QuickBooks, we have a QuickBooks educators event coming up. Tamar, you might know the time off the top of your head.
Next
Yeah.
Friday. We have one
I'm
next
looking it up.
Friday.
Yeah, okay, next Friday. So that is,
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just dropped the survey. Let me also go into the educator community so I can share with you the upcoming events. So let me do that right now. Because then you'll be able to see that we have a QuickBooks meetup next Friday to share best practices. We're also gonna be inviting QuickBooks Live managers, so professionals in QuickBooks, if you have any QuickBooks related questions. We're gonna also do another, we had a tax expert meetup as well, so that teachers can also meet our tax experts too. So this is Intuit for Education community, the educator community. So if you want to log in, you can. I'm gonna drop the link here. So there's a survey that I shared earlier. So we want to make sure we do that. And then the educator community. I just go to events right here. So this is event in progress now. This is the QuickBooks Educator Meetup next week, August 30th. Need to check the time. Yeah, it's 12 to 12:30 Pacific time next Friday. So just RSVP for that. And then we have a lot more events coming up. So more intro to financial literacy, game-based learning, exploring financial literacy, tax education meetup on the 16th. So Tracy or Pat, I know you both teach tax or tax courses. I just put this up like an hour ago, so we'll get some people coming there. Adding students to a class and tracking progress, and then understanding the difference between guided and self-paced lessons. So we have a lot of events coming up. Okay, cool. So I dropped the survey. Let me add everyone's name here. So Tracy, Pat, Harsh, and is it Cindy? Yeah, Cindy. Okay, let's go. So Cindy will add your name as well. Me and Denise can't play because it's not fair. Sorry. Okay, let's do this. Cool. Let's do the.
wait, you have one more, Kay,
Who did I miss?
Kay Chandra?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let's go. Who gets the voucher? Ooh,
Yay,
Tracy
woo.
gets the voucher.
Woo-hoo.
Tracy, we'll send you Uber Eats voucher. Enjoy your nice lunch, dinner, whatever you decide to use it on. We'll send it to you today. It'll be eligible for 24 hours. We're gonna do all of our events have these raffles. So more you come to events, we don't have that many people come to these events. So 6 to 10 people we have a high chance. It's one of the that. So cool, great. Thank you everybody so much for joining. Hope to see you at another event soon. And my email is if anyone wants it, Tamor_Ashkan@intuit.com in case our helpline doesn't respond. I'll respond to you. Great. Take care, everyone. Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank
Have a good
you.
weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.